My sister disappeared 5 years ago. No warning, no goodbye, no trace. One day, she was there. The next day, she was gone. At first, everyone thought it was temporary. Maybe she needed space. Maybe she ran away. Maybe she'd come back once things cooled down. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And eventually, people stopped asking questions. The police called it a missing person case. Then later, a cold case. But for me, it never went cold. Because when someone disappears like that, they don't just leave. They take a part of you with them. Her name was Maya. She was the kind of person people noticed, not because she tried to stand out, but because she didn't. Quiet, observant, always thinking. She noticed things other people didn't. Patterns, small details, things that didn't make sense. And sometimes that made people uncomfortable. The last time I saw her, she said something strange, not emotional, not dramatic, just strange. If something ever happens to me, don't trust what they tell you. At the time, I laughed it off. "What are you talking about?" I asked. She didn't answer. She just smiled. That was the last real conversation we ever had. After she disappeared, everything changed. My parents stopped talking about her, like completely. No photos, no mentions, no conversations. It was like she had been erased from the house. At first, I thought they were grieving. Then I realized something worse. They weren't grieving, they were avoiding something. And that scared me more than her disappearance ever did. Years passed. Life moved on. Or at least, it pretended to. Until last week, when something arrived at my door, and suddenly, everything I thought I knew started to fall apart. It came in a plain brown box. No return address. No label. Just my name. At first, I thought it was a delivery mistake. Something I forgot I ordered. It happens all the time. But the moment I picked it up, I knew it wasn't. It was too light, too quiet, and something about it felt wrong. I brought it inside, placed it on the table, and just stared at it. Because, deep down, I already knew this wasn't random. Slowly, I opened it. Inside, there was only one thing. A phone. Old model, scratched, used. And the moment I saw it, my stomach dropped. Because I recognized it instantly. It was hers. Maya's phone. The same one she had the day she disappeared. My hands started shaking. Because that phone was never found. The police searched for it, tracked it, tried everything. Nothing. And now, 5 years later, it was sitting in front of me. But that wasn't the worst part. The phone was still on, and there was only one thing on the screen. A single video, unplayed, with a timestamp, recorded the night she disappeared. I didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't think, because something inside me already knew once I pressed play, there would be no going back. I stared at the screen for a long time. The video file didn't move. It just sat there, waiting, like it knew I wasn't ready. My finger hovered over the play button. I could feel my heartbeat in my chest, heavy, uneven, because deep down, I already knew this wasn't going to be simple. This wasn't going to be closure. Finally, I pressed play. At first, the screen was dark, shaky, like the camera was being held in a hurry. Then slowly, the image came into focus. It was her, Maya. She looked different. Not scared, not panicked, just focused. The room she was in looked unfamiliar. Dim lighting, concrete walls,
somewhere underground maybe. She adjusted the camera slightly, then looked directly into it, and for a moment it felt like she was looking at me. "If you're watching this, I didn't make it back." My chest tightened. I leaned closer. "This wasn't random," she continued. "I didn't disappear. I found something, and they didn't want me to know." They. That word echoed in my head. "I don't have much time," she said quickly. "If anything happens to me, you need to look where they never would." Then she said something that made my entire body go cold. "Start with Mom and Dad." The video cut to static. I froze. No, that didn't make sense. My parents? There's no way. But the more I thought about it, the more everything started to feel wrong. Because suddenly all the silence, all the avoidance, all the things they never said, they meant something. I replayed the video 3 times, hoping I misunderstood, hoping I heard it wrong. But I didn't. Start with Mom and Dad. That line wouldn't leave my head. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe she was confused. Maybe she was scared. Maybe she didn't mean it the way it sounded. But something inside me didn't believe that. Because Maya wasn't the type to panic. She was careful, observant. She noticed things others ignored. And suddenly, memories started coming back. Small things, things I didn't think were important at the time. Late-night conversations that stopped when I walked in. Phone calls my parents would take in another room. The way they completely shut down any conversation about Maya after she disappeared. It wasn't grief, it was control. And the more I thought about it, the more one question kept repeating in my mind. What were they hiding? I didn't want to believe it. I really didn't. But the truth doesn't care about what you want. It only cares about what is. And for the first time in 5 years, I realized something terrifying. Maybe my sister didn't disappear. Maybe she was silenced. I hadn't been back to that house in 2 years. Not since the night everything broke. But now, I had no choice. The drive felt longer than I remembered. Every street, every turn, every memory came rushing back. When I finally stood in front of the house, nothing had changed. Same walls, same windows, same quiet. It looked normal, too normal. I knocked. A few seconds later, my mother opened the door. The moment she saw me, her face changed. Not shock, not happiness, fear. "Why are you here?" she asked. Not, "I missed you," not, "Are you okay?" Just that. "Why are you here?" And in that moment, I knew. They knew something. I didn't waste time. I showed her the phone, the video. She froze. Then slowly, she sat down. And for the first time in 5 years, she spoke the truth. Maya had found something illegal, something dangerous. People were involved, powerful people, and when she got too close, they noticed. My parents tried to stop her, tried to protect her, but it was already too late. And then she disappeared. But the worst part, they knew who took her, and they stayed silent to protect me. I thought that was the truth, the full story. I was wrong, because there was one more thing. My mother looked at me and said something I will never forget. She didn't want you to know. Then she handed me something, a second phone, unlocked. Inside, another video from Maya, and this time everything changed, because she said, I trusted the wrong people, and behind her, I saw it, a reflection, My father. The truth hit differently this time. It wasn't strangers. It wasn't some hidden group. It was closer, much closer. My father wasn't protecting us. He was part of it. And my mother? She knew. That's why they stayed silent. That's why they erased her. Not to protect me, but to protect themselves. I didn't scream. I didn't react. I just laughed. Because after 5 years, after all the silence, after all the lies, the truth was so much worse than anything I imagined. And the scariest part? I was never supposed to find out.